What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trade Dad. Today is October 4th, 2021. It is Monday, and it is the start of a new trading week. So this week we're going to come in very disciplined, very aware of what's going on here, and try to go ahead and make sure that we're taking the best trades and not losing any trades here. Let's see if that's possible. But we are coming up to the top of this distribution zone at 14,460 here. We ranged all the way back down to lows at 14,440. Now coming back up to test these highs. I would like to sell a position here, but I want to go ahead and be sure that we're going to reverse first. So I'm waiting for a little bit of a lower high to be set in here, and then where we can't break another high. And I'll probably take a short position here pretty soon, but I'm just waiting for a confirmation for a second. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Hopefully trading has been good for you guys this morning. Still pushing up here for a little more push. This week we definitely are going to pass this step two. We got to be diligent with all of our trades, but it's definitely gonna be a good week here, guarantee it. Pushed up. Now we're getting a little bit of a push back down. Might have missed that one. Let's see if we come back up to 14,459 here to get another test. So no real economic events we need to be flat for today, per the combine. So just trying to see if we can get another position back up here near these highs. And try to range it back down towards the middle of this range here. Looks like bulls are trying to gain some stability here. If they can continue this uptrend to the upside and just break out, that'll be a lost position from my end here. But I'm going to see if we can get this back up to 14,460 and then take it back down to mean here. Look like bulls are coming out pretty strong. Let's see if they could break that high. If they could break that high, that's going to be bad news for us here. Okay, so we already got filled. We came back from 14,460 about down to 14,455. It's only a 5-point trade, but still trying to work up some cushion here. Probably could have held it until the 14,449 there. But you could see we're at the top of that shelf and probably range all the way back down here. But trying to build some cushion out for the morning. Making sure that we got a good amount of capital for us to stay above zero here.
If you're a content creator of any kind, you need to start using Artlist for your videos. I'm Ryan, filming.
So continuing to push down here. Probably could have held that position a lot longer coming off of that high at 14,466 there. Took profit right at the beginning at 14,454. Pushing down lower. Trying to break out higher here. Let's see if the bulls can take it. Coming up to this lower distribution zone. Let's see what kind of reaction we get at 14,481 here. Pushing up. Looks like this market has completely reversed here for a second, but as we're coming up to this low distribution, this low volume node here, we're getting a rejection back into mean. So probably going to have a little bit of a failed auction here as we came all the way back down. See if these bulls get one more push. If they can't get above this 14,464, then probably going to be a nice position to sell here. You can see they're starting to push up.
Stop filled.
See if we could hold this back down. Unless these bulls are just ready to break out right here. It looks like they're pretty strong at the moment. They literally came down, tested the top of that distribution zone and pushed back up. Couldn't break the high yet. So let's see if we can come back down to mean, or we're going to continue making higher lows and push above this level.
Order filled.
Alright, so we just got filled. We came back down to that high profile node at 14,460. Bounced off of that and continuing to push back up here. So bulls looking like if they can come and test this high again at 14,474, probably looking to break out here. Although as they get up to 14,481, you know, there is that bigger split of these distribution zones. Might have a little bit more resistance there for the bulls to try to push through. So from what it looks like right here, bulls a little bit too strong, and they're gaining back control, pushing this back towards the mean at 14,455. Yeah, this week we are going to be very diligent with our trades, ensuring that each one of them is very precise. And going and holding our trades, holding off on the smaller trades and waiting for bigger time frame gaps here, like that 14,484, that distribution zone split. That's going to be a big level. But as you can see, these bigger distribution zones, what we need to make sure we're not doing this week is trading the smaller distribution zones in between a bigger distribution zone. So if we have a split up at 14,482 and we have the lower end of it at 14,440 or 14,400, let's just we'll wait for the extremes of this entirety of this distribution zone to go ahead and sell up top or buy down low, and wait for an actual confirmation of a breakout before we're trying to trade anything else here. So notice last week during the Friday trading session, we were trading in two big ranges, and I kept trying to trade the smaller distribution zones, which made up the bigger distribution zone, and it's a little bit hard because you're trading back and forth between, you know what I mean, the bigger picture. And if you're trying to trade too many micro setups there, that's what was getting me last week. So being patient here. 14,480 is going to be a big price level. We almost got to it once, couldn't quite get there. You can see as soon as we got up there, we got rejected back down to mean. Yeah, if we can get up to let me see here, 1 second. Yeah, if we can get up to 14,505 here, that's going to be a big position for me to the downside. And if we get above that, then the next one would be 14,527 to the downside. So I'll go ahead and mark those two levels here. Well, it's kind of easy to see here because you got the 50% is what I'm looking for, and then the 61.8. That's going to be the split between this major distribution zone and then this smaller one, and then the split between that one and this larger one above us. So right now, just trading back into the main of range here. Not really much going on that we can trade here, but decent trade coming off of those highs. So bears trying to take control again, pushing lower. Bears looking to take this all the way down to these lows. We'll see what kind of reaction we get once we get lower here. So as we get down to 14,400, we need to, if we can get down there, right? We'll see what these reaction of these bears are. Let's see if they overshoot it a little bit. If they overshoot this level and then come back up into it and hold above 14,400, this might be staging a reversal here. But as this is trading at the moment, it looks like the bears are taking control and they want to take this even lower for the day. So I wasn't able to get in nothing yet. The trade that I should have stayed in is the one that we took here off of these highs. Since we started moving lower and we are in the middle of this distribution zone, I wasn't really willing to step into a position as we might have been chopping back and forth between these levels. So couldn't catch a trade all the way down, unfortunately. But as we get lower here, we're going to see what kind of reaction we can get off of these lows. So I'm gonna step back here for a second and take a look at our internals, market internals. We'll take a look at some market internals. We'll take a look at some longer term fib sequences here. Okay, so bears pushed it down to lows 14,414 and brought it right back up to main here 14,450. So a little bit of sideways movement, building out this distribution zone. Came back up to point of control, pushed back lower. The point of control on the longer term is going to be all the way up at 14,600. The point of control for the daily session here for since the open is 14,450. So just trading back and forth here, a lot of choppiness at the middle of this point of control here, 14,450. Bears came off of that level, pushed lower, couldn't break the low so far, pushed back up to point of control, and now it's just trying to find value here at the middle of range. So just being patient. Like I said, we're not going to really want to do anything until we can get to these extremes of this distribution level. Alright, so bears pushing down here, trying to get away from that point of control. See if we could break this 14,415. Let me pull up Thinkorswim so I can show you guys a little bit what I'll be looking for here. Excuse all my chicken scratch. These are just the levels we've been trading these past few days. I remember we had this sell signal. Off of that sell signal, we pulled all the way down. We had another buy signal right in this area. We got a little bit of a push back up, and then as we hit the top of this trend line, we started tanking down. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. But let me go ahead and clear this up a little bit. That completion hit of that initial 61.8 short. The next completion is a 61.8 at the 50, so that's going to be the 14303 here. So on the day, came off of the high of this distribution zone, pushed lower, came back down, tested. So the move off of the morning here, from the high of Sunday's session to the low of the overnight, we came back and tested that 50% retracement off of the open, and then off of that we moved lower there. You could see that we blew through the 23.6 completion and the 61.8 completion. So the next valid move is going to actually be an extension to low here. So the actual extension to low that I would be looking for is from low down to low here. So that 38.2, the 50 there, anywhere literally where these two distribution zones split. It's very interesting. But you can see we came off of the high of the distribution zone that we made, and now we're pushing lower. So it looks like it already traded without us. There might have been an extension that traded in here, which we missed. Extension to low. Let me clear this up real quick. From low to the low in the opening of the session, traded at 61.8 right here. You could see came up to that 61.8, traded it, hit target. As soon as it hit target, it kind of bounced around a little bit, got down to second target, started consolidating, and then broke through it. So that would be the actual first extension to low. Then the next extension to low would actually be from that low to low there, which would be a valid sequence as well. So from that extension to low, front ran that 50, kind of hit that 38.2 and the top of the distribution zone, bounced off. So the target on that one's going to be, for the initial target, it's going to be 14,361. For the second target, which is going to line up right with our 50% retracement and the bigger time frame completion, it's going to be right around our buy signal at 14,300 here. So let's see if we can get all the way, as we get down there. That's probably going to be a big trade for us. We'll see if some crazy news comes out or some, how the market works. They always say it's news when it's all planned. But yeah, pushing lower, 14,300 is going to be our level. As it stands right now, though, we're just trading this to the downside. Very, very strong volume to the downside, coming down to test these lows. See what kind of reaction we get here. So you can see we had a trending down market the entire day. We came up, we made a little bit of a retracement. Now we're trending downwards again. So bears trying to break these lows. Let's see if these bears can hold below here. Initially, they got a big push lower. a big push back up for the bears. If the bulls can hold above this previous swing low at 14,402, there's a possible sign of a reversal, at least to range back up to 14,475. So let's see if we could hold above this level. So we got about 8 minutes left in this 15-minute candle. If this 15-minute candle can stay above 14,401 here, we might have a little bit of a reversal back up, but you can see that we just had a failure in pushing lower here. Possibly able to catch the breakout to the downside, but I'm a little bit skeptical about that right now. If we come and break this low again, I'll go ahead and enter this trade to the downside, because there's a lot of room to run still for the day. If we just keep breaking lows, we're probably just going to continue lower. But
Stop filled.
I got into one contract there. See if we continue. I want to see some volume start building, maybe like a purple candle start coming up here. Got a big red candle coming back up to mean. Exactly what I didn't want to see. Let's give this a little bit of time to play out. I think I'm happy with targeting. We'll target 8 points off the low, so we'll go from 14,388 down to 80 here. If we can get down to 80, that's a pretty decent move for me. I'm trying to catch the breakout. So bear's really not getting the extension I wanted him to get. Go figure though. I'm getting pretty close to not even trying to trade breakouts to the downside like this anymore, because it seems like every time we get a little bit of reversal back up. If I can get another position back up right at 14,398 here, I could bring my break-even point a bit higher and probably take some profits down here. But we'll see how this plays out.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
All right, so we got filled on both of those contracts. Took a bit of a profit there. Still profited on both of those contracts, so Bears probably finally getting a break here. Probably could have stayed in there a little longer, but Bears trying to break these lows. A little bit of a pushback up to mean in this little smaller distribution zone down here. And this is where we need to be really patient because now, as you can see, we had a bigger distribution zone. We broke right below it, and now we're forming another one. So it kind of means that that extension didn't have enough volume to actually push us as far as, you know, these bears thought they could have took it. So still trying to break out lower here. But the point I'm trying to make is the bears were able to find value rather quickly. Coming back up to that high, 14,399. We'll go ahead and sell this again. Try to take it back down to 14,390 here. Bulls with a pretty big push though. Looks like they're trying to get back above 14,415.
Order filled.
All right, so now that we're building in down here, I mean, I'm not going to really take another trade until we could either get up to 14.46 or 4.79 up here. Like I said in the beginning of this session, basically, last week we were trying to trade this bigger distribution zone which formed, and we were trying to trade in between these two smaller zones, and it just started eating us up. We got chopped up a whole bunch. So we caught a bunch of trades already. I mean, there's no reason to try to rush nothing here, so I'm gonna go ahead and wait. The only trade I'm gonna be able to take is if we get back up to 14,481 here, then I'll be looking to trade this back down. But until then, I really don't have another trade. We are trying to close above. Did we close above it? Let me see on the 15-minute chart here. We might have closed above 14,402 right there. Hold on. We didn't, but we almost did. We are like literally 1 point away from closing above. So I mean, this might be the bears trying to, you know, hold above that level. So we got to be cautious of that as well. A little bit of a reversal. And with that being said, I'll be right back. There's been a lot of news coming out lately about like bigger investors saying that the stock market's about to crash and stuff. It's kind of funny, but I mean, it possibly could with the stuff that we've been going through lately, but you know, we're coming into a major pullback here, 14,311, and it's kind of like the media like tries to like sell it as if something's gonna happen, and then like right when they get a majority of the people oversold, it just shoots back up, and some kind of new quantitative easing or something comes out, and we just push through new highs. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there is a possibility, who knows, but based off of probability, we're most likely going to come back down, hit that trend line again, and probably push up again. I'm pretty confident we're going to come back down and test this point of control. You know, but it is a little bit lower at that 61.8, which was 14,000 level. So we'll see how that works out. But buy signal is still valid at 14,299. And that's the crazy thing. I don't know if you guys like study Fibonacci's like a lot, or how long you've been trading with them or whatnot. But right when COVID was hitting, we actually had crude oil trade a full halfway back from an extension, and then off of that extension it just took off. Let me see if I can find it here. So here's the from October of 2018 to low here, we had a 61.8, which was the top of this distribution zone. We traded it once, came back, traded it twice, came back, traded it 3 times. Off of the third second of that, or that third test of that trade, which was the 1st or the 7th of January, off of that 61.8, we started tanking. February, came back up, tried to come back into that distribution level, failed. And you could see from the bottom of that distribution level when we failed to all the way down to target at the 61.8 retracement, we literally just tanked straight down, and everybody was like blaming it on COVID and everything, but it was like the setup was there. We were watching that setup for literally since April of last year. Came up, traded it, or actually April from 2019, came up, traded it once, traded it again, traded it a third time, and it just tanked. So I mean, it's kind of crazy. And then if you look at S&P weekly, so off of, let's see if I can clean this up. So the crash, the COVID crash was, the low of it was March 23rd of 2020. You can see from this low, might have been an extension. I gotta zoom out a little more. I remember trading it though. Oh yeah, it was the extension. So it was the extension from 2007 to high, came back down to that 61.8. Literally tagged it to the tick. And the reason why I was trading the extension is because from all-time lows to high, we blew through the 61.8 completion, and then that's why we were trading off extension high there. And 61.8 traded perfect, and then you could see that giant boost, and that's right when they came out with like the quantitative easing and all the extra stuff from the feds. But it's insane the way the market moves. It's like, all right, so pushing back to the middle of this distribution zone. I mean, there's nothing we can do here, so that's the reason I'm just talking, BSing. Next trade that we're going to be able to take is up at 14,483, and then back up at 14,505. So probably going to take a little bit here. I'm going to be silent here for a little bit. Like I was saying earlier, guys, just be careful trying to short anything, even if we get up to that level I was talking about earlier, because we came down to this 14,401 level. We came up for a full retracement. We came down and we couldn't hold below it. So that's a big sign of a reversal. And as we're getting back up towards this point of control, we're starting to gain some volume as well. And that's what I was saying earlier in the session. If we can close above 14,402 there, and we ended up pushing right below, coming back up and closing above it. So big sign of a reversal back up. This is the same way we've been trading for the past week or so. It's literally the same setup every single day. We push lower, and you start getting some support. You close above the previous low, and then it just tanks. I mean, it just takes off to the upside, and then it goes to the previous point of control, which would be like 14,560 there. So that's the same setup that's been trading. We'll see how it goes. As we get up to 14,480, we'll see if that holds or it keeps pushing higher. Yeah, guys. So I hope you guys got some good trades today. I'm gonna be silent for quite a while here. I don't want to be rushing anything this week, and trading in between this distribution zone is just guessing now, just rushing and gambling basically. So I'll probably be silent until we can get up above 14,480 here, um, or back down, to the low of this distribution zone. So yeah, if I'm silent, you know why. Thanks. So if you're barely coming in, I explained we're not going to be on the mic until we can get out of this distribution zone. Up to 14,480 or back down to 14,380. Just really no reason for me to be on the mic right now because, you know, we're just trading between this point of control and there's nothing really I could do here. So I'll be silent until we can catch a trade. Alright, y'all, so for whoever's just joining, like I said earlier, if you guys been on the stream, I'm not doing nothing here. 14,480 is going to be the level we're looking for, or back down to 14,385. As we're stuck in the middle of this distribution zone, there's nothing for me to do here, so I'm not going to risk my capital and, you know, possibly get chopped up in here. So like I said before, I'm going to be silent for a bit until we can start having some kind of breakout to the upside or the downside. There's not really much to do here except for lose money. So if you're willing to lose money, go ahead and trade here. If you're willing to hold off and keep your money smart, I suggest you wait for the same thing. Thanks, guys. See, so this is where we were messing up last week. You could see as we're coming down off of this major distribution zone, and you can see this little split right here. Instead of trying to, wait for the low profile nodes here near these highs or near these lows to trade, we are taking trades like right in the middle of these distribution zones, trying to range it back up to the mean. And we just kept getting blown by here, and so I want to see what kind of reaction we get as we get down to this split here. Probably just going to continue lower, because that's the same reason why we got chopped up so far on Friday. And you could see like we're not even getting a retracement back up into mean here. So yeah, the biggest thing this week is placing our trades, making sure that we're just being very, very smart with everything that we're doing this week. We need to get this step 2 passed and move on. So still being patient here. I'm going to wait until we get down to 14,384 and see what we're going to do down here. Alright guys, so bears pushing really hard here, trying to get down to these lows. See what kind of reaction we start getting. As soon as they got down pretty close to that low, they started getting a push up. Let's see if we can push back down here. We're going to be going ahead and playing this just like a failure would on some kind of like a trend reversal or whatnot. So we come down, we like we just made a high. We couldn't break the low so far. Let's see if we get one more test back down to this low. And depending on how far we can get down, we might be able to range this back up to mean. You can see we're kind of moving back up pretty quick here. Let's see if we get one more push. Now, if we can't break this low at 14,391 on the main test back down, and we start making higher lows, probably take this back up and try to target at least 14,415, if not 14,419 there. Possibly could have missed it already. Just made a high, made a low, couldn't break the low there. But this is just a small little trend to the upside. So let's see if we can get one more test back down to continue this bigger trend. Like looks like we're trying to build in this little high profile node here from 14,410 back down to 14,400. Remember that 14,400 was the previous swing low that we couldn't stay below. So now that we're coming back down and testing it again, we'll see if we could stay below it now or not. If we can't, that'll be a triple test to the bottom without a break, possible reversal off of that. So, but bears looking to break here. Bears is having a little bit of a hard time breaking below that level. Okay, bears pushing here, trying to break these lows. All right, bears starting to break. Slowly breaking lower and lower here for the bears. Looks like they're trying to break out to the downside here. Let's see if they can get it. There's this new distribution zone, smaller time frame from 14,411 back down to 14,400, and there is a possibility we kind of just build this out a little bit here, but bears trying to push. All right, so they got back below that previous 14,402. Now let's see if they could take it. Getting down to the lows of these distribution zones here. See if they could break this low at 14,4391. If they can't break this low at 14,4391, start making higher lows here. Probably gonna come back up. Possibly try to tag point of control up there. So we'll see if they could break it or not. All right, so bulls trying to break back up to point of control up there. See if they get past this 14,413. Remember guys, we're kind of high away from these lows here, 14,383. So if we were to take a position right here, 14,400, you know, that's a 17 or 27 point move. Oh wait, am I wrong? Hold on. Yes, that's like from this 14,400, that's a 17 point move. That's too much to risk for me, honestly. So let's see if we can keep pushing, gain a little bit of more of a distribution zone here. Come back and test these lows. We just got to fit ourselves into a proper position to where we're not risking too much and that we have the best probability on our side. So just being patient. You know, as we get down to the low of these distribution zones, I am willing to, since we've been trading back and forth, we haven't really been in a trending market. I'm willing to take this back up to mean, which is going to be all the way up at 14,400. I mean 14,440. Sorry about that. Let's see what we do down here. All right, so bulls looking like they're trying to take it here. Do they get reversed back down? I think bulls are going to try to take it back to mean. I could probably take a position up here. Just don't want to mess up this losing streak. 8-1. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna do nothing here. It's too risky for me, honestly. I'm gonna hold off. That would have been doing exactly what I didn't want to do today and trade in the middle of a bigger distribution zone, like I was saying earlier. So I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm sure we'll be able to find a better entry here. I mean, we could rush it, but what are we rushing to? I mean, losing money? That's all we're rushing to if we rush things. Hey, what's up, Lincoln? Nice to see you, bud. Yeah, again, guys, until we can get above the 14, around 14,480, or back all the way down to 14,382 here, I'm going to be sitting on hands and just playing the safe for a bit. Alright, bears with their push here. Trying to break these lows, 14,384. Looks like we're finally able to close below the 14,404 level. This is our third test back down to these lows here. The very low of this distribution is the 14,383 level. See what we do while we're down here. Trying to push, trying to break here. Kind of slowing down. Probably gonna come back up in the range here. That would have been a good entry where we were just at. If we come down one more time. If we can't break this low, I'll be willing to take this position.
Rejected.
Gonna get filled. Let's see if we can come back down. Yeah, I kind of missed that entry a little bit. As we were coming down to this 14,391, which is lower end, pretty close to the bottom of the main distribution zone, and we started getting this slow down, this green candle and then this red candle here. Probably could have got in there, but let's see, pushing back down, see if we can get another test. Bears looking pretty strong here, trying to break. Okay, bears finally breaking. Pushing down to 14,383 here. Let's see what kind of reaction we get. Bears trying to break out completely here. Still pushing. This is the lower end of this distribution zone. We might try to push back up here. Let's see if we make another. We made a low, made a high here, made another. Let's see if we can break this low here or not. Okay, so we broke the low. I'm gonna go ahead and exit that. Bear's trying to break out here. Made a low, made a high. Pushing back lower. Let's see if we can break this low or not. If we can, I'm gonna get in on the way back up.
Stop filled.
I'm gonna target 14,402 here. We might just continue lower, so I'm gonna go ahead and set my stop right here. Very shallow stop, but if that's gonna be the lows there, I want to go ahead and make sure we get it. So probably gonna get stopped out right here. So bear's looking to break out lower.
Stop filled. Stop filled.
So I'm fine with that. I'd rather try to get myself in at the bottom of this distribution zone in case we come back up into mean, rather than trying to catch the breakout. Lately, catching the breakout has been very detrimental to everything we're doing here. So 14,383 is going to be the level to close below here. Might try to get back into this depending on how we enter here. 14,383 is the level to beat. So we got 2 minutes left in this 15-minute candle. If we can't close below 14,383 here, try to take another position back up. All right, so bear's not looking to close above 14,383. Trying to push here. I really think we might just come back up and swing back up to the mean up here though. So I'm just trying to figure out if we can catch this break back into range. Like bulls were barely able to close above that level. See if I can find the low of this distribution zone that we're trying to build here, and then try to get down to the lows. But like I said, if we keep closing below the 14,383 level, we're just probably going to continue breaking lower here. So. bulls back next to that 14,383 level, trying to get above it. And looks like we're trying to break here. Bears definitely seem to be failing a little bit though. I mean, even though they're trying to push this as hard as they can, it's just every time they get down to these lows, they're failing back. I wouldn't be surprised if we come all the way back up to mean here. So being real careful here, trying to see where we can get our position at. Let's see if a distribution zone starts forming here at these lows. 14,388 is going to be the high. We just got back above 14,383 there. We got above that little distribution, came back down, tagged the point of control there. Or not the point of control, but this little, the high profile node of this distribution level. So came up, let's see if we can break this low or not. We're trying to break the highs here. I want to get into this position back up, but it's so far off these lows now. Kind of skeptical on it. So we might just start ranging back and forth here. Couldn't get back below 14,383. Still holding above it.
Order filled.
Yeah, so bad sign there because we're trying to break out of this distribution zone that we formed down here, and then we immediately got a failed auction. So kind of means we might come down and test the lows here. I'm hoping this holds. We did close above 14,383 there. So the actual target for this move would be back up at 14,400 and 407 up there if we could hold. bear is pushing hard now. Back down to the lows. And they're about to break out. Yeah, so if we break these lows, I'm out. I got to get out of this trade. Target the top of that range. We can get all the way to 14,409 there. If not, I got my stop set right at break even here, so. Probably come and stop me out and then take off, probably. One thing I'm worried about is we get up to 14,401 and then we start retracing. Kind of want to set my target there. I'm gonna be more conservative with this one. Set my target at 14,402 right there.
Order filled. Order filled.
Alright, so just got filled. I think we're actually going to continue higher. I wouldn't doubt that we come all the way back up to point of control. But as you see, right when we tagged that 14,402, we got a little bit of a retracement. Probably come down a little bit and then start pushing higher. Point of control for that trade is going to be 14,440. So there is a possibility we just come all the way back up to 14,440 here. I wish I could have held that position longer. Yeah. y'all know how it goes. You guys are all traders here, so. So pushing up. And like I said, there is a possibility, you know, we could have held that a lot longer. Getting a good push back up here. Yeah, earlier in the trading day here, we were speaking about that Lincoln. For the past like week, 2 weeks, basically, we've been having the same exact setup. Come down and make a swing low, swing high, come down, break the low, and then close above it. And then when we close above that previous swing low, we'll get a retracement back up to mean. It's basically been happening the past week, 2 weeks, basically. So was trading that same setup here. We came back up above 14,383. We're at the lower end of this distribution zone, and you can see we're not really trending like how it would be if like it was in the earlier session. Earlier in the session, we were straight down. Here we've been kind of building a distribution zone in this level. So as we came down and broke that low, and we started gaining some pullbacks to the upside, some support, and once we started closing above that 14,383, which is the previous swing low, that's what I was looking for there. I was looking for a retracement back up to mean. Coming back up, this lower distribution mean would be 14,406, so we kind of tagged that. Let's see if we can get back up to that 14,440 level. Fortunately, we couldn't hold on to the other one. We would have kept our winning streak. Would have been 9-1. Now we're 9-2. Kind of messed that one up. So yeah, I had my stop up at 14,410. We barely would have tagged it, and then I moved it back down to that 14,402 level. So probably could have held it a little bit longer, like I said, up to 14,410. But right at the last second, I moved it down because with that downward movement already, kind of almost stopping us out, we wanted to take profit while we had it. Coming back down to test this previous lower range that we formed. Just tag the highs. A little bit of reaction off of it. Honestly, guys, I think that was my chance to stay into a trade right there. Like off of those lows, that was my chance to probably the last trade that I'm looking for on the day, because the only thing that could happen here is we come all the way back up to this 14,480, or we come back down to break these lows and break out lower. And I'm not looking to try to catch the breakout here. I mean, it would be nice, but just over the past few days, it's not been my best trade to trade these bigger range breakouts. On a smaller range, you know, those breakouts are a lot better, especially when you have a lot of low profile stuff above you. So like if this one at 14,480 was to break higher, I would be willing to take something like off of a smaller distribution zone higher here. But since this range is so big, there's no telling that, like, once we break these lows, how far we're going to extend. So if we only extend a few points and we get trapped and this starts moving back up into range, then it's too much of a risky position for me, honestly. So let's see what we do as we get back down to these lows. If I can't catch a trade here, probably going to be done on the day. So hope everybody had a good day though. Coming back down to those lows, tested it one more time. Let's see if these bulls are going to hold. Want to see these bears push down one more time. All right, bears pushing pretty hard right here, trying to break these lows. Almost broke them. 14,372. And bears trying to break out here. Right when they got to that low, they got a reaction back up. So again, if we were to try to catch this this breakout to the downside, let's see how it would have played out. Because now we broke down below that distribution zone, so that's a possible breakout sequence here. If we can stay below and then hold the test back, testing that previous low, and then pushing down further, that's going to be a breakout to the downside. So coming back up to test here. Looks like the bears are trying to break right here.
Order filled. Order filled.
Yeah, see, so again, if we would have held that position trying to catch this breakout further, we would have just got chopped back up. You can see we moved right back above this previous low, and if we could hold above that previous low, the same setup's going to happen. Probably move back up into the mean of this range here. So yeah, glad we didn't try to catch these breakouts today, because if we did, we would have got eaten up pretty significantly. So I'm gonna call it, guys. Off of that, I mean, the next trade you guys can look for if you guys are continuing to trade is seeing if we can close above this previous swing low at 14,372. If we can close above that previous swing low on the 15-minute chart there and start gaining some support, maybe form a little bit of a distribution and break out above it, I wouldn't doubt we can come all the way back up to the mean of the range here, either that 14,406 or all the way up to 14,439. I know it seems pretty crazy because we're slowly moving lower, but every time we get an extension, we can't close below the previous swing low, and that's what's showing a lot of support down in these levels. As you know, as we break a new low, a lot of limit orders are in here, eating up all these market orders, pushing this down and bringing us right back up below, above where this auction began. So strength is starting to build over and over again. Previously, over the last weeks, we noticed that when we started seeing strength build like this, we'll get a big push by the end of the day and try to come up to at least point of control for the day. So just be very careful here. Like I said, it could be a breakout, but from what I'm seeing, we keep failing every time we get an extension. So just play it safe. I hope you guys had a good day. We almost had a pretty decent trading day today. I mean, we did have a good trading day today, but we had 1 loss and we had 8 wins, and now we're 10 wins, 2 losses. So it's all good though. Hopefully you guys had a good rest of your evening. Hopefully you guys are profitable for the day. And thanks for joining Trade Dad, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.